Welcome to part 2 of this episode, baby. We had this discussion last week, and I figured that it's too much for y'all. I'm coming for you a bit too hard. So I figured we can always move it to next week, which is this week, which is this episode. Welcome to part 2. Because I haven't figured out a name, because I'm filming on the same day, I've decided not to give you a name until, of course, you will see it there. It will be there, hopefully. So yeah, last time that we were talking about I was giving you my 2 cents on the debate of Christian women versus non-Christian women on what you gonna call it, how Christianity has shaped your femininity. And then we also had a discussion on the rise of femininity content, just a little bit. I touched on that a little bit, which is fair, because in my notes I was like, just sprinkle it in there, just make sure you are aware. I'm letting you know that I know my internet, okay? And then it all begins in singleness, and then questions to ask yourself before marriage. Be real, the good and the bad. Right, so we talked about all that last week. So this week we're gonna get straight into it, which is continuing from last week. Today we're gonna be talking about being aware of your desires. I think I touched on this last week, where I was like, be aware of your desires, be aware of what you want from yourself in your life, in terms of your career, in terms of your health, in school, everything. Like, what is it that you want to be that girl, like that, what you feel you need to succeed. And I think being honest and being aware of your desires, not being aware from a standpoint of you look at your Pinterest board and you just guess from there. Of course, once you use your Pinterest for some time, it kind of guesses things right? But what I'm talking about is being really self-aware and being honest. This is a whole, baby, I curated a whole series for y'all within this podcast that is going to be talking about your career as well. So I don't want to get into it too hard, but I am, because I'm me. Just really figuring out what you want to do with your life, your purpose, and just really figuring out what you want to do and who you are and what your personality is like and what kind of work environment you're in. Like, all these things, you have all these things to figure out before you start figuring out, is Jonah the one? Sorry. Okay. I've got a bottle of water behind me. I got a little mess behind me. Please ignore it. I've decided to ignore it. You should do the same. Right? So, yeah, be aware of your desires. Be aware of the things that you enjoy, your hobbies, the sports you like to watch. It seems like just not basa, for now. It seems like things that do not matter, things that you could just figure out next year. But I really feel like it's so important to be self-aware of your physical, your mental, your everything, just so that sometimes you might not be in a position to change it to something that you want, but at least you know. But anyways, we're gonna be talking about the struggles, of course, in terms of, this, right? Let's have this conversation. This to all my girls, especially those who grew up in Asian households or African households. I know y'all, these 2 households, child. I know your parents were like, do not date in high school. You had the type of parent who like, no dating in high school, no dating. Some parents will go as far and say like, no dating in college. I'm going to take this time to digress and say, you're a weird parent if you are the type to say do not date in college, even in high school. I mean, what? But it's fine. And then that transition from not dating at all to essentially being told, yeah, now we want a son-in-law. And you're like, how am I supposed? I don't even know how to communicate with them in that way. Right? For me, I went to co-ed. My mom, bless her heart, she was actually not straight. Well, it depends on who you ask. If you had asked 16-year-old me, I'll probably say, yeah, for sure she is strict. This is why. When I was in Form 1, this is like 14, 15, I was going into Form 1. my first year in secondary school. And my mom was like, don't come home pregnant. Do not leave school. Do not come home pregnant. I will kill you if you come home pregnant. Now, I know a lot of you will be like, she's your mom. There's no way she's going to kill you. Y'all have never met Agnes. I wasn't trying to find out if she was going to actually kill me. So I decided, you know what? How do people get pregnant? Boys. Books before boys. Because boys bring what? Ladies. The 70s. The legendary 70s. And I decided in that time, I'm not going to date in high school. And I remember going to high school and judging everybody who was dating. I was like, how dare you date? Like, your parents, they're going to be so disappointed in you. I was a judgina. Oh my God. I was like, oh my God, y'all are not supposed to be dating. Of course, by the time I got to third term, my whole perspective on dating had shifted. If anything, I was now playing matchmaker, and it was fun for a little minute. Yeah, for a hot minute, it was really fun because it meant at least I had some kind of control in their relationship. This is how I saw it. So which meant I would try and constantly remind the girls, like, you need to, know your worth. Just don't let him play you. You that bitch. You that girl. Don't let him touch up on you. You know that song, you Chris, don't touch me. That was me. That was the girl I was. Possibly I still am. Okay, maybe not am, but you already know what I'm trying to say. So, that was the kind of person I was. So when I got to Form 1, I saw that trying to convince people not to do it was not going to work. So I ended up being a matchmaker for, I think, the entire Form 1 to Form 4. You can just come with me and tell me you like this person. And I wasn't like a person who believed that it has to take forever, and then just let the person know at least that you like them, and then from there figure out what you want to do, figure out what you want to say about each other. Sorry, I keep checking if my mic is working. It's like, okay, the light is on. Okay, it's working. Great. So I became this person, and in the back of my mind, I have my mom's message, essentially, and I started striking a deal with my closest friends, like, how about we have like a little challenge? Let's sign contracts. Let's not date until we get to upper sixth form, and like, let's not get into it. And yeah, my friends signed the contract, but they broke it. Shame on you. I'm the only one who kept it. So the entire high school, I did not date, which is so unfortunate. I think about it now, and I wish I could tell her, please date. Please. It's going to save us a headache in the future. Do it now to save future Tiny. Because I, future Tiny, now have to clean up that mess. I'm like, girl, had you just dated in the past, we wouldn't be having this discussion. We'll be having a different discussion, but not this one. So, unfortunately, yeah, I kept my promise, despite feeling, I did have my little crushes. Oh, I'm a human being. You think I'm a robot? Ew. I had my little crushes. Some were more intense than others. Some transitioned into talking stage, then back to the drawing board. But what I would say is, for the parents who are watching this, for the young girls in high school who are watching this, please date. Just, don't get involved in things that are not for you, like sex. I do not expect anybody in high school to be having sex. This is not euphoria. Ma'am, if you get pregnant, I will not gonna Form 4. Please. And do you know how hard it is? Sin is getting harder by the minute. Form 4 is not about. People are screaming, oh, you need your A-levels. Ma'am, take care of yourself. It's dark out here. It's hard out here. I'm a whole graduate and I'm struggling. Imagine when with your traveling ass self. Imagine. So I got to college. I did date. I did get into a relationship, and I did date in college. But you could tell, I was, I was like, false start. Sorry, false start. You know. So yeah, I would say please allow your children to date in high school and in college, because it was that temptation of, I went from not dating them. Like, I can talk to boys because I went to a co-ed school. I can talk to boys, like, boys. I'm one of them. They're my homies. I love my girlfriends. I'm not the type to say, I can relate more to the boys than I can to the girls. I love my girls. My girls are my people. They're my soulmates. Those are my soulmates. I would die on the hill called my girls. Right? But I then realized that there were a lot of aspects of just casual talking that I just didn't have a handle on, because I had never participated in those fooleries in high school. So flirting, all those kind of, I forced that, it would always be awkward. Like, I would make a joke. It's a simple joke, and it's not received well. You get, so just date. I don't know. Primary school kids are dating. I don't recommend it. As long as they're not kissing and touching, I suppose. Or how am I gonna stop them? But if you're in high school, date. Buy your boyfriend cologne, socks. That's the era of getting plastic roses, getting chocolates, share them with your bestie who's single. I was always the bestie who was single getting chocolates. Thank you, Vanessa. I was always the bestie getting chocolates. I love that era. It was such a beautiful era. Do your thing when you get to college. Date. And dating is going to be different for you. Some people can't be single, which bothers my spirit, because I've got friends who can't be single, and that bothers my spirit, because I'm like, why are you literally just got out of a relationship yesterday. It's next week and you're already telling me, oh yeah, I'm in a relationship with a new person. How did you have the time and the energy? How? I mean, we barely got out of that situation. What do you mean? Ma'am? What do you mean? What? What do you mean? I'm in a new relationship. What? Get over yourself. But yeah, so why am I talking about this? Because it's very important. I just felt like I had to put it in there. I feel like it's one of those things that people don't attribute to their singleness, because like now you're an adult, you're supposed to take responsibility. Do not blame your parents. By the time you get to 21, you cannot be blaming your parents for anything. The girls with daddy issues, you cannot be screaming, oh, I've got daddy issues, this is why I cannot communicate in relationships. Please go for therapy. Be serious. Talk to Jesus. Talk to your friends. Fix those daddy issues. Do not blame don't blame him. It's his fault. He wasn't accountable. He's not a responsible person. That has nothing to do with you. The girls who get it. So for me, that transition to, it's like, oh, I really followed this advice, because now the same person who was like, oh, I'm gonna kill you if you get pregnant, now she's like, oh, I'm like a black kid, I'm gonna, well, I could have given you one a little sooner, don't you think? But you threatened me. Lest we forget. Anyways, next thing, getting comfortable in your single era. Jesus, I am a culprit. I am so comfortable with being single. Let me tell you something. The peace, look at the skin. The peace that I have, Look, the joy, it's not even fake, y'all. This energy that I got, baby, they don't buy this. It's not something that you can buy. It's, I don't know how to explain it. I really enjoy being single. I think because for me it's quite normal. I'm comfortable with being single. I can spend, the entire life with all my friends dating and booed up, and I will be feeling alright. Of course, there are days, like, I'm human, and my biological cycle does not allow me to feel secure all the time. The real girls know what I'm talking about. That ovulation period. The period when your body just starts saying, "Ooh, child, let's have a baby." All of a sudden you thinking, "Oh, shoot, I don't like this. I should get me a man. Yeah. And we're going to talk about that because I think it's very important to be very transparent about desire and about, about that when you're single, especially. But we're going to talk about it another time, not today. Child, we don't have the time for that today. But yeah, it's very easy to get comfortable when you're single. It's very easy to just focus on your friendships, focus on your work. I think for me, that's exactly what I do. I just focus on my friendships and I focus on my work and I focus on the things that I can do and the things that I can't do and figuring out what else I want to be in this life, what I want to be. And, so recently I've been dibble dabbling in writing and I have been learning so much about that. I'm almost done with what I'm writing and I'm going to be sharing it very soon. And it gets me so excited because I think of the fact that, a year before this, I could write, but not the same way that I'm doing it now. So it's also exciting. We had that 2025. We had the whole episode on big goals and how they come with challenges and how I've been navigating those things alone, unfortunately. Well, not alone, but with my friends, but you know what I mean, in a romantic sense, right? Where it's like you become a little hyper independent. So opening up, the real girls know what I'm talking about. The real ones know what I'm talking about. When you're single to a point where a guy asking you out is actually quite annoying. It's late for you, sis. It's late for us, sis. Because for me, it's like I'm starting to think, look, I'm very much happy in the space that I'm in. And I don't see you adding to who I am and what I can do. So respectfully, just keep it moving. Me and my fictional boyfriend, we gonna make it through. We're gonna talk about that too, because fictional boyfriends are actually becoming a pandemic. People don't want to talk about that, but it's okay. We're gonna talk about it later. Anyways, so yeah, like having somebody come into your space and be like I want to, but also not to participate.
Girl, I know you like Celine, yeah. Girl, I buy you that Celine. The shade on you, you look so clean, girl. I wanna give love, give it purple love. I see you, girl,